All right, y'all, what's up? What's going on? Just wanted to jump on here and go live for a little bit until fight card because I'm not going live for the early prelims, but I probably will jump on around the Wayne Kong and Bruno Brazil fight. But man, yeah, I just wanted to talk a little bit more about this one here because just looking at these past few fights and these interviews, I'm really wondering like what's the approach with Weili gonna be in this fight. I really am. I'm really torn in this one. Like, I'm not changing my pick on this one because I definitely think it is a 50-50 fight. It really is 50-50, man. Like, I think, the mindset is really what's gonna be the deciding factor, especially on Wei Lee's part. Easy said, "Is this live?" Yeah, yeah. What's up, man? What's going on? Yeah, we live, man. We just live for like another 15, 20 minutes, maybe. I wanna know who's your pick, Easy, man. Who you picking? I forgot who you picking in this one. But yeah, I'm just asking this question, man. Like, is this a mistake? If Zhang Weili does choose to wrestle, that's the question because I look at some of the interviews where she seems like she's ready to test it. She seems like she's ready to test it on a higher level. It worked against fighters like Amanda Lemos, Yan Xiaonan, but it seems like there's a part of her that really wants to say, okay, my wrestling is on the level of Tatiana Suarez's wrestling. I keep getting that feeling like she's gonna want to push it and lock up with Suarez. And I think, of course, that's where the mistake comes in. Um, Another interview I was listening to, of course, they ask her about how how is her approach going to be if they have to get locked up. Like once they get locked up, what is she going to do? And it seemed like her mindset is to say, okay, well, if it happens, it happens. Which to me, that's smart. That is smart to say if it happens, it happens. Because certain situations it will call for me to wrestle. Because like she said, this ain't just wrestling or grappling. It's MMA. I like the fact that Whaley does acknowledge, okay, it's mixed martial art. I gotta be well rounded. I gotta know how to do a little bit of everything. But to me, in my opinion, of course, look, if you want to be that one and you really want to be the champion, like a long time champion, you just got to go. I'm gonna go back to what I said in my last video. You got to go for what you know. Because I was, talking to some other people about this, and when some people say wrestling is something that Tatiana Suarez, wrestling is something that Zhang Weili is gonna go in here and show and actually hang with her. I'm like, I don't know. Like, I really don't know if that's a good idea. Like, okay, it's one thing, like I said, if you got to escape wrestle or counter wrestle, but you really shouldn't spend time wrestling with somebody that's been doing this since they were a child, which, again, Zhang Weili acknowledged. And you really shouldn't make it as a choice as well. Like it almost kind of goes back to the first few seconds of her fight with Rose, the first fight. I know that one was so quick, but even in that matter of seconds of the first fight with Rose Namajunas, Wei Lee was already on the outside too long for my liking. I mean, I know Wei Lee's changed since then, but certain things can happen. And I mean, that right there is a learning lesson. Like, you don't want to strike with a long striker. The same way you don't want to wrestle with a powerful wrestler, right? I mean, am I wrong? Like, whenever a fighter is more so known for what they do, as this is it, like this person, whether you call them one dimensional or not, that is something you don't want to fall into. Um, the other situation is like once you do get to a point where you feel like, okay, this is part of my tools, this is part of my arsenal. It's good to think that way, but I really don't feel like this is going to be the time to test it out, man. This is not the time to test it out. You know, I don't I don't think this would be a wise choice for her. So yeah, is it a mistake for Zhang Weili to choose to wrestle? If she does, it is. It's going to be a mistake on my part. I mean, in my opinion, and a mistake on her part. Excuse me. That's a mistake on her part, but on my opinion, definitely a mistake to choose to wrestle her. Because again, if you consider her the best at that, or even if your team is calling her like one dimensional, like a lot of people do call Tatiana one dimensional. Well, I don't think she is, but if that is her one dimension, I mean, you should do the contrast. You should do what a wrestler can't stand, and that's, throw the jab in their face all night, or just kind of pick them apart. The only time I would say to try to wrestle with her is if you trying to escape, or if you see your opportunity to get out of a situation on the ground. You maybe put a little strength on her and you maybe beat her up a little bit, or only if you see like her looking like damaged goods at some point, right? Um, but you never want to just, because look, Tatiana, she knows the ins and outs. Like, I don't think Weili will do anything surprising as far as like taking her down and bringing like a new aspect there, or out wrestling her, even like picking Suarez up and slamming her. Like, I think it's still going to come down to having to hurt her with her hands and her hand speed and timing. And then when she's down, you still have to land shots on Tatiana Suarez and finish her. Right? There's really no call for grappling here in case you're trying to escape. Unless you're trying to get out of a situation in here. That's the only time I see it wise for Weili to do that. But I hope that's their game plan. I really do. I just would prefer it be the game plan to do the opposite, because that'll make for a more entertaining, competitive fight, rather than her getting finished in the manner of what 2-3 rounds. Um, See, I think that when fighters like, who was somebody she let's see, somebody most recently, like Amanda Lemos. Like Amanda Lemos, I think her mindset was to try to knock Weili out, right? We all knew that was going to be her mindset, was try to swing big. So takedowns was there, and Weili was gonna look that good at some point. I think I did rock with Lemos in that one because I wanted to see her get her victory. I know a lot of people were counting her out, so I had to pick her. But when that turned into a mauling and a beating, I was like, okay, this I can see here. Because Lemos can look like a fish out of water, even though she has submissions. I mean, when she's on the ground, sometimes you can drown her, but Suarez is going to love this right here. They are fully prepared for whatever's coming, and that's one reason, like, why I still have to stick with her in my pick. I'm gonna have to stick with Suarez in this pick here, man. I just don't think that, I know that technically Weili has some better things, and she will maybe be able to outstrike Suarez. Like, I wouldn't be surprised in that, or maybe even like clips Suarez a couple times, or maybe even like open up a cut. But does Weili fight smart in every fight? Let me ask y'all that before I go. Does she fight smart? Does she fight smart enough to your liking? That's the question. Like, I think Weili is very strong. I think she's a student of the game. But sometimes, like, I just don't think she'll put together what she needs to in certain fights. Like, it's not like she doesn't use them. I think she just sometimes gets a little bit caught up into the fight sometimes. But she did really well with Yan Janan. She hung in there. She landed some shots, and she did the opposite in that fight. She out wrestled Yan Jana. So I don't know. I don't know. This fight here is really close. That's why I just say, if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Suarez in this one, man. And I don't really think you can go wrong in this fight. I just don't see it being easy on either side, man. This is one of them ones. But let me check what y'all are saying here. Okay, Easy said he's going with Tatiana. He said, I do think Weili is overrated. What's up, Marcus? What's going on, man? Axel said, okay, I think it is a mistake for me. You go where your opponent has no chance to beat you. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, Easy. Lainey Silva. Oh man, like I kept thinking like when she got hurt to the body last night, Lainey Silva. I mean Rose Conceição, when she got hurt, I was like, Lainey Conceição might knock her out. She either gonna knock her out with a body shot, but then a headshot came. BJ, what's going on, man? Yes, fight day, man. We still out here, out here still working, right? I'm let me see. I'm about fully energized now because I took a little nap. I had to get the nap in because you just don't know how long these cards are gonna be. So hey, let me see. Somebody said I have times that I have Weili about to pick her apart. Okay. You're running really sticking with Weili. Axel said, I think Weili is smart enough to surround herself with a good team. However, her decision making during her fight is not good. That's what I'm saying. Is like, I think, yeah, she's always surrounded herself with the best people and better wrestlers. She went back, got the better team that consisted of, like Henry Cejudo's, even like working with Marab as of recently. So I think her cardio is fully tested and good to go. But it's the decision making sometimes in these fights. I just sometimes get a little worried about what she chooses to do. I don't think that Weili has any worries about getting like stopped here. I don't think the striking is going to be a heavy problem. But that would be if Suarez chose to like maybe mask that would be one of the perfect keys for them to take into this fight. That would be the perfect key to take into this fight. Maybe hide maybe like a bomb or two, maybe hide a head kick or two, something loaded up, kind of like how Leon Edwards did to Kamaru Usman, to see if she can do that even as a wrestler, because that would be a surprise coming from a wrestler, I have time to say I see a split decision coming. Oh yeah, split decision is very possible, man. Like if Suarez can't keep her down and Zhang Weili is quick to get out of there, if she's quick out of the scrambles, and that's if she chooses to get up, you know what I mean? Like I see submission if she stays on the ground, but split decision could be possible if Zhang Weili chooses to explode and get up, get out, and she gets taken down again, explode, get up, get out, and move. Like if she feels the strength, or if Suarez gets tired down the stretch, Zhang Weili gonna maybe have some moments on the ground herself with some ground and pound. So, if we get a split decision, I know everybody gonna be talking, man. It'll be, oh no, this person won. People gonna be mad, but I don't know. But with both having good cardio, I think it could go either way as far as what happens down the stretch. Tatiana looks so confident on the feet against Andrade, though. Yeah. And that was against Andrade. I know she really did. That was a good test for her. Had she been in there with like a Verna and looked that way, I would definitely see a little bit more to her. I would definitely see a little bit more to her. Halftime said he thinks Suarez is one-dimensional, overrated. I really wouldn't call her overrated. I mean, everybody has their opinion, but I don't see her as overrated. If she was, I mean, okay, because you said Weili's about to pick her apart, but then you see a split decision. How are you gonna get a split decision if you pick her apart? I mean, if you think Weili's better, I just don't see how you can see Weili split decision and against a one-dimensional fighter. That's my thing. Like this should be pretty easy for her then, right? Like that's what I'm saying. Like I know Suarez is the wrestler here, but I don't think she overrated, man. I don't think she overrated. I mean, you can't. That mean Weili ain't that good. Then to me, if you split decision against somebody that's one dimensional, or if you pick them apart, that doesn't. Because if you pick somebody apart, I mean that's more like unanimous decision, right? Whatever. BJ said, "What if Tatiana goes in here and bangs with Weili? If Tatiana goes in there and bangs with Weili, mm, that could be a mistake. To me, that could be a mistake. Uh huh. Yeah, that could definitely be a mistake. Uh huh. Because I think, but then again, time, time does, well, it's more like wear and tear. That and how much punishment you take. Whaley's been taking bombs in some fights. Uh, got dropped several times. We just never know. We just never know, like how her chin would hold up as well. Yeah, Tatiana hasn't really taken a lot of punishment either. We haven't. This will be the first time we'll see Tatiana in some. Sorry, this is the first time we'll see Tatiana in some serious deep waters, man. Like in a long time, long career, long inactivity, but now we really get to see her in there with a big step up. Man, her last fight was August 2023, and that was after coming back. So going on another year layoff, it definitely doesn't benefit her. It definitely doesn't benefit her. But see, there's still a difference between her and there's a big difference between her and like Tyler Santos. Like it's crazy because Tyler's more active, but when I see her in there with somebody as dangerous as like Dakota, I was worried about her, man, because of her decision making. But Tatiana Suarez, can't really say she's made bad decisions. I mean, you barely say that whenever you haven't lost any rounds, right? So we'll see how good of a decision maker or how bad of a decision maker Tatiana Suarez is in this fight. You know, as for Wei Lee, I just think that for her to maybe try to push the wrestling in this fight or the grappling, it would be a mistake. I think it only calls for it if she's on the ground and she happens to get taken down, makes the mistake, and she needs to get out of there. Maybe do a couple of reversals, a couple of scrambles, but there needs to be an escape plan. Like I think for her main goal to win this fight, to get back to her feet. Even she's got to do the Manon, like stuff her, maybe surprise her with a takedown every now and then when it's on her grounds and it's her choice, just to kind of take Suarez off balance. Maybe when Suarez is like hunting for her to maybe think, okay, I got to strike with. Then Zhang Weili, boom, takes her down. Maybe even for a few seconds and gets back up and goes, just take that sprawl and move approach. Because, the gas tank, we know Weili's got the gas tank to move and take at least 3 rounds in this fight, but trying to go in there the first round, like I was looking back at the fight with her and Yan Xiaonan. Her and Yan Xiaonan fought. Yan Xiaonan did score a takedown real quick in the first round. I was like, dang, okay, Yan's getting a takedown. So I know styles make fights, but I'm kind of thinking, man, if Yan Xiaonan got a takedown on Wei Li, I kind of think Suarez will in the first round too. It's just a matter of can she hook that big fish and just keep her down. So we'll see. We'll see if the neck is free. We'll see if we see a guillotine. Oh, man. It's really hard saying to see a decision in this one just because of the way they both fight and the way they both put it all on the line. It's all in if like chins hold up. Like I was surprised, Weili and Joanna went 5 rounds with how they looked. The referee never chose to stop it. Joanna never went down. Weili never went down. But that was a crazy pace fight. But this one here, when there's just so much grappling experience on one side and on the other, you got one wanting to test it. and a little bit of power too. Oh man, it's gonna be crazy. Yeah, should be a good one though. But yeah, the prelims is starting now, so I'm gonna check that out for a little bit. I'm gonna get back on for the Wayne Kong and Bruno Brazil fight and for the main event, of course. But yeah, let me jump off here, y'all. Hit that like and subscribe if you want to join in the fight companion later. I'm out.